Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. I welcome you all to today's session of the daily quiz. Before we begin, once again reminding you, our experts are right here to help you in any issues that you have in your UPSC preparation. To get a one-on-one counseling session with our experts, all that you need to do is click on the link of the Google form in the description of this video and give us all your details for our experts to get in touch with you. Having said that, let's begin with the first question of the day. Consider the following statements with regards to snow leopards. Number one, they are in vulnerable category of the IUCN Red List with an estimated global population of 4,000 to 7,500. Second, the conservation breeding program for snow leopards was launched at Darjeeling Zoo in 1985. Third, the Darjeeling Zoo has been the coordinating zoo for snow leopards in the country since 2007. And fourth, the Darjeeling Zoo has the world's largest number of snow leopards in captivity, that is 14. How many of these given statements is or are correct? Now, if you look about snow leopard, this is not a species that you read about very regularly, but it is in the news now. The reason being the Darjeeling Zoo. The fourth statement is the primary reason. The Darjeeling Zoo now has the largest number of snow leopards in captivity anywhere in the world, that is 14. All the other statements are also true. The snow leopards feature in the vulnerable category. The Darjeeling Zoo, because it has the most population of these snow leopards, has been the coordinating zoo for them, and it was the place where the first conservation breeding program was first started. Thus, the answer here is D. All four statements here are correct. In the Indian Express newspaper, you see this news today. The Darjeeling Zoo now has the world's largest number of snow leopards in captivity. This is all because of the conservation efforts. Out of the 14 snow leopards, 7 are male while others 7 are female. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to organ donation in India. Number 1. Offering to pay for organs or supplying them for payment, initiating, negotiating or advertising such arrangements, looking for persons to supply organs and abetting in preparing false documents. All of these can attract a jail term of 10 years and a fine of up to rupees 1 crore. Second, recently, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare modified the National Organ Transplantation Guidelines, allowing those above 65 years of age to receive organ for transplantation from deceased donors. And third, a patient requiring an organ can only register for getting an organ in the state of his or her domicile. How many of these given statements is or are correct? Again, not an easy question to answer because this is not a very regularly featuring topic. The first statement is correct. Organ donation in India cannot be in exchange for any money. Second statement also is correct. So recently in 2023 itself, the guidelines were changed. Before these guidelines were changed, if you were above 65 years of age, you could not get any organ. Because it was considered that the life expectancy in India is not very high after you pass 65 years. So why to waste the organ? The organ should only be given to those below 65. But now that age limit has been removed. Even if you are above 65 now, you can get the organ. So second is also correct. Third is wrong. In the recently changed guidelines, when the 65-year limit was removed, this was also removed. Earlier, you had to register in the state of your domicile only. Now that is not the case. You can register in any state across the country, get your surgery and the organ in other states as well. So third statement here is wrong. 1 and 2 are correct. The answer thus becomes B. 2 statements are correct. The third one is wrong. There is no domicile requirement as such. The reason why we are discussing this is because of this case in the Delhi High Court, where the High Court has said that ideally there should be 6 to 8 weeks of time limit to complete the process of transplantation from living donors. This is because any delay, as per the court, causes anguish, both physical and mental, for the donor, the recipient, and also their families. In India, we have a law called the Transplantation of Human Organs Tissues Act 1994 and the rules of 2014 that have been revised from time to time. Next is question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to minimum support price or MSP. Number 1. MSP is based on the recommendations of Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, which considers various factors such as the cost of production, demand and supply, market price trends, intercrop price parity, etc. Second, The CACP, that is the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, recommends the MSP for 22 mandated crops and fair and remunerative value for sugar canes. Third, the mandated crops include 14 crops for the Rabi season, 6 for the Kharif season, and 2 other commercial crops. How many of these are correct? Now, MSP again is a topic that remains in the news time and time again because of the farm laws, because of the farmer stress in the country. If you look at the concept of MSP, first is correct. It is recommended by the CACP, and the CACP recommends MSP for 22 crops in India. However, the third statement is slightly wrong. Out of these 22, 14 are Kharif crops, while 6 are Rabi crops and other 2 are commercial crops. So 14 from Kharif season, 6 from Rabi season. That is why the third statement here is wrong. The answer again becomes B. First and second statements are correct. The reason why we are discussing this question is because of this article in the Indian Express newspaper, which talks about how the MSP should be calculated in different states, how we should ensure that the MSP is able to help the farmers sustain, because the farmers have been demanding higher MSP in a lot of cases, saying that inflation has impacted their earning capacity and they are not able to sustain themselves because of MSP. So a lot of states such as Madhya Pradesh, Haryana, etc., they have now been contemplating, can they offer MSP for other products as well to push the farmers towards the other products going forward. Next, question number 4. The annual maritime exercise between India and the British Royal Navy is named as Konkan, Varun, Indra or Malabar. Which of these is the correct name? The answer here is Konkan. The Konkan annual exercise is the one that takes place between the Indian and the British Navy. I'll give you as this homework. Tell me in the comment section, with which countries does India have these exercises? With which country do we have the Varun exercise? With which country do we hold the Indra exercise? And with which countries do we hold the Malabar exercise? Do let me know in the comment section. The Konkan is the correct answer here. The reason why we are discussing this is because our Defence Minister, Raksha Mantri, is on a 2-day visit to UK, in which the British government has said that they will be sending Navy ships to Indian Ocean this year. It is not the beginning of the Konkan maritime exercise. It is separate. It takes place every single year. Just that this is a separate initiative under which a lot of European countries, including UK, want to improve their presence in the Indo-Pacific area, especially keeping an eye on China and its expansionist activities. Next is the previous year question from 2013. Improper handling and storage of cereal grains and oil seeds result in the production of toxins known as aflatoxins, which are not generally destroyed by normal cooking process. These aflatoxins are produced by bacteria, protozoa, molds or viruses. Difficult question, not the easiest one to answer. This was asked in 2013. The correct answer here is molds. Now, these aflatoxins are dangerous because of the fact that these are not usually destroyed by the cooking process. So, usually what happens, even though some of our food products may not be very safe in the raw form, but when you cook over high temperature, most of these get destroyed and the food becomes much more safer. That is why you will see the doctors always advising you to properly cook your vegetable and only then consume it. But there are some aflatoxins that do not get destroyed even with cooking, which becomes a problem. That is why we should be extremely careful with our handling of grains, with our handling of cereals. They are produced by fungi. Also, exposure to these toxins can lead to stunted growth in children and also a risk of liver cancer going forward. Amongst all of these aflatoxins, the most toxic one is the aflatoxin B1. Next, we have a fact of the day, and today we want to discuss about how Republic Day tableaux are selected. Now, the Republic Day parade is fast approaching. As you have seen in the Republic Day parade, we have tableaux or these big structures representing different states and their culture. Now, every single year, you do not see participation from every single state. So what happens usually is the states basically present their entry to the central government and then they decide whether they want to choose it, finalize it or not. The reason why it was in the news is that a lot of states ruled by the opposition parties, Delhi, Karnataka, Punjab, West Bengal, they accused the central government that their tableaux have been rejected because of not properly following the procedure and the guidelines given by the central government. However, these state governments are saying that the opposition parties have been targeted here. Now, usually what is the selection process? Stage 1 is the assessment of the initial proposal and the sketch design, which can have multiple meetings. Stage 2 is the assessment of the 3D model. Overall, it takes about 5 to 6 meetings for all these to be selected. There is also a basis of selection as well. These include the visual appeal of the tableau, the impact to the masses, what message is it giving, the details of it, how many local artists have been used, etc. This year, the theme that had been finalized by the central government is Viksit Bharat and Bharat Loktantra Ki Matrika. That is, India, the mother of democracy. Many states are saying that the central government did not want their representation, did not want them to get famous at the Republic Day parade. That is why their models, their tableau have not been chosen. Not a new controversy. Every single year you do see certain controversy like these, especially from the opposition ruled states. This brings us to the end of today's session of the daily quiz. I hope you learned something today. We will meet each other tomorrow with the next session of the daily quiz. Thank you so much for joining in. Have a good day ahead. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.